Feel like John Moran. Need a triple double. Told him check the stats.
What's up, Oilers? We're back on another episode of Tyson Talk. Who we here with today?
Issa, Aaron, Nate.
All right, let's get right into the show, y'all. Issa, I'm going to start with you. Nate, I'll go to you. And then Aaron, you will be last. All right, Issa, as far as I know, you are a baseball player on the football team. Growing up, how did you know that baseball was a sport that you wanted to invest in?
From a young age, I think I started playing when I was 4, right here at Saybrook Park, and I wasn't the best, but I started practicing a lot with my dad.
Yeah, right.
And interesting why I played baseball, because my dad, well, he's Mexican.
Okay,
So
he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, he grew up playing soccer, but some of his family members played baseball, and
So how can I say, went through the family?
yeah.
Okay.
And my dad said and I asked him too. I was like, why didn't I play any other sport? And they're like, oh, when you were a kid, like you always chose to play baseball. So I was like, oh, okay. So I just stuck with it, and I practiced a lot with my dad.
Right.
When I got to Grand Ray, that's when I started expanding and started playing with some better teams. I actually started playing with one of the guys that are here in the room with us.
You can say who it is.
Gus, he's over there. Gus
Gus
making
behind
sure
the
we're
camera.
recording.
It's okay. That's cool.
One of our star players.
All right. As a baseball player, what have been some of your favorite memories with Montebello? Because you're a senior, correct?
Correct.
I haven't been here that long, and I don't study a lot of baseball, and I'm not very good at it. Mostly because I'm just not very patient. Because I see the way you guys play, and honestly, it's always been a sport I wanted to play, but it's always a sport I knew like I could watch it, but like not play it. But growing up, or I should say now, being here, what has been your favorite memory being at Montebello, as far as baseball goes?
As far as like being on the field?
Yeah, as far as being on the field or off the field, just with the team in general.
With the team in general, it's I would say I wouldn't really be as involved as I am in the school.
Yeah.
Because right now, even when I first came here, because I came from a different district.
Oh, what district did you come from?
LAUSD. Okay. And I talked to everybody, and everybody's like, nobody went to like the school I went to. So I was kind of alone here until I started playing baseball. And then obviously from there, I met like a lot of people, and that's my whole friend group basically.
Oh, yeah. Same thing for me with basketball. Yeah. As a baseball player, I don't know many things about it, but what would you say is the toughest part about your sport?
Toughest part?
Or if you could list a top 3 list. Yeah. What would be that top 3 list of things that
hitting?
Like,
you could say that.
Yeah,
like
specifically things in baseball
hitting,
that you think people would need a type of talent to do.
Yeah, talent and hitting, of course. I think being mentally tough is a big part of the game.
Right.
I'm sure for every sport it's like that.
Yeah, no, but baseball, I would say it's a lot different because you guys have to be a lot patient with the score. I would have to say.
Baseball, the game's not as fast paced. Football, soccer, all those basketball. It's all like you feel so amped up. And baseball, it's more you build up anticipation.
Right.
It's more of like it's you and the pitcher, and if you need to do your job, or if you're on defense, you need to know what you're gonna do.
Right.
And like, there's so many different possibilities, but that's why people think like, oh, baseball's boring. It's just like, oh, you're catching the ball, throwing it. But no, there's so many different like plays and so many different ways the ball can go.
Yeah, because I will be honest. I'm one of the people who have in the past said that baseball is boring because mostly I just didn't understand it in a specific type of way. I wouldn't get why people were invested in the sport, why people like to do the sport, because I saw it as boring. But then I went to a Dodgers game. Oh, no, I didn't go to a Dodgers game. I watched the Dodgers game at my pastor's house, and I was like, man, these cats out here, they really got to compete. This is just as competitive as football, basketball, soccer, any other sport out there. Back on subject, anything else you would consider tough in your sport?
Throwing, obviously. You need to be able to hit, and you need to be able to throw.
Right.
I could just say pitching.
Okay. One more question for you, and then Nate, I'll turn it your way. How much do you believe baseball can affect the lives of others? Do you believe it can really affect other people's lives? Because I've seen MLB players' contracts, and I see dudes signing for $500 million contracts. Do you think it can have a huge effect on people?
Oh, obviously, yeah. I think for any sport.
Yeah.
Well, baseball, yeah. I know you've seen people are getting deals for a few years that are like $700 million.
$700 million. Like I look insane. At the NBA and I thought that was rich. I was like, Not MLB making money, but yeah, what would you say about that?
Yeah, it could definitely impact somebody's life, money wise, and mentally. It just makes you more. I feel like you begin to be more patient, and you begin to know yourself a little bit better.
Right.
Since baseball's a lot, it has to do a lot with your mental state of mind. You can't be frustrated because obviously you're gonna be doing bad a lot of the time. And those good moments, you got to remember them and be able to carry them on with the rest of your game. So even if you do if you do good or if you do bad in certain moments, you got to look past it, and focus on the next. How bad or anything.
Nate, we're gonna go in your direction with these next few questions. You ready, my man?
Sounds great.
All right. What kind of life do you think baseball has given you, personally?
I think baseball has really changed my life in the state that without it, I don't think I would be who I am today. In the sense, I'm a piggyback right off of what Isa saying, how baseball, it's not necessarily, the lessons that it teaches you, it's not necessarily just for sports, it's not necessarily just for baseball.
Right.
A lot of it can relate back to how you live your life in the patience aspect, in the learning aspect, in the dedication aspect. Everything that you do, it can relate back into life as with dedication and consistency and hard work, you're going to put that into baseball, but you could take that out of baseball and put it into your schoolwork. You could put it into your regular life and take that on for however long you want to take it on for.
Are you a senior?
Yeah, I'm a
by
senior.
chance? Okay, so this isn't a question I asked Issa, but Issa, I will come back to you with this question. Are there any events in your baseball career, are there any events that you experienced throughout playing baseball that almost made you want to give up? And if so, why?
Your elbow.
Recently, this past winter, I broke my elbow playing baseball, and I was told that I probably wasn't going to be able to play at all during my senior year in high school. And I was like, well, if I'm not going to be able to play, I'm just going to ride the bench and be on the team. Just to be on the team, I don't see a point.
I know how that feels.
Right. And so it's been hard trying to get back to where I was. Slowly, I'm making progress, and my elbow is technically still broken, but I've been playing with it. I got approved. I got cleared by doctors. So I'm slowly making my way back into the lineup, into the team, trying to just get back to where I was. And so there, that moment, I did indeed feel like there was a moment where I just kind of wanted to quit, but I didn't. And
you said baseball changed who you are, and you wouldn't know how you would. You don't know what kind of man you would be without the sport today. Can you specify how baseball has changed you from the kid you are, from the young man you are now? Can you specify on that?
When I was a kid, I didn't have the same mental state. I didn't have the same mental strength that I have now. When I was a kid, I was really sensitive. I'd cry for a lot of things. I'd just, I get frustrated a lot. And baseball taught me that, it's okay, you're going to fail more times than you succeed, but those times that you succeed, you have to take that and learn from it.
Right.
And those times that you fail, you also have to take that and learn from that, and then just make the best out of the future, the what's to come.
Right.
And I don't think if I didn't play baseball when I was a kid, I don't think I would have grasped those concepts so easily as I have, and been able to take them to where I am now.
Last question, and then Aaron, I'm going to turn it your way. Can you see baseball following you and your family in the future? Can you see it being a big help as to, let's say, retiring your parents, if that's a dream of yours, paying for house insurance for them? Do you think it can really help you in the future?
I think that question is subjective in the type of player that you are and the type of future that you see for yourself in the sense of continuing to play. Me personally, I do want to continue to play. And so I'm going to play in college.
Okay.
And from there, I guess we'll see where it takes me. And I hopefully, if I play good enough and hopefully if I get enough recognition, I'll one day make some money behind it and hopefully be able to provide for my future family and hopefully give back to my parents who have given so much to me.
Right answer right there. Aaron, how you feeling, my man? How you feeling?
Pretty good.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to ask you these few questions, and Issa, I'm turning it back to you.
All right.
All right. That sound good? Aaron, I don't know you very well. Matter of fact, I don't know any of you guys that well. But I can say there seems to be a rivalry. This is an honest question. Do you feel like there's a rivalry, or do you feel like we are better than them? Because we're not coming to bash any teams. We're not. We give respect to every team in the area. BG, Mark Keppel, Mark Keppel, other schools like that. But do you feel like we are better than them? There's not much of a rivalry.
Yeah, I feel that there's a clear sign that we are better than them. But I feel that Sure also has a couple good kids that do their part. But I feel that as a team,
Right.
we're not way better, but we're better than most of the teams in our league.
Right. Okay. So, what can you say is going to drive the most of the guys this season as far as making playoffs, making CIF? What do you think is going to drive you guys to get there?
Honestly, this year we've been very good on all aspects of baseball, but I feel like our most important factor is our team camaraderie. I feel like we have a very, very good team connection with all of us.
That's
all
good.
of us treat each other like brothers. We all love each other. We all pick each other up. So I feel like that's going to carry us to winning CIF and maybe, if we're lucky, state.
Okay, well, look at y'all thinking y'all gonna make state. Okay, I can accept that. You've been to Montebello because you're a senior, right?
I've been here for 2 years.
You've been here for 2 years. What high school did you go to before this?
I went to St. Paul High School.
Okay, this is gonna be a question, publicly open around for everyone. What drove you to come play for Montebello? What gave you that need to say, okay, I'm leaving behind St. Paul. I'm coming to play for Montebello my junior year. What gave you that?
Well, at St. Paul, the baseball program wasn't really that good. And I was looking to transfer because I don't feel like playing for a team that doesn't have a good winning record.
Yeah.
I feel that the teams around my house, around my area, I feel like the best team to go to was Montebello. So and I knew a couple of the kids from years of playing baseball prior.
Right.
So I came here and I knew that these guys were good. I knew that and I knew that I could be a good addition to them.
This is another question for you. Describe game days as far as things you may eat or things you may do to lock in for a tough matchup you're going to face,
So
whether it be in the night, whether it be in the day.
So for game days, I feel like it's all unique. So for me, I like in the morning, I like to wake up and be like, okay, I got a game today. Just going to lock in the whole day. Just think about how I want to succeed during the game.
Right.
And I feel like a good aspect is before the game, all of us are changing. We're all listening to music. We're all laughing. All of us are just getting, loose, and excited for the game to come. But I feel like on the bus ride to a game or right before a game, we all enter like our own little zone where we lock in and we have to see like what we want to do during the game.
Right. Okay. I can take that answer. Before we proceed with this episode, any question you guys want to ask me? Could be basketball related, could be sports related, could be photography related.
Have you heard of any of the any things about baseball that were like interesting for you?
Honestly, what made me want to do this podcast with baseball at first, because baseball was my first choice, and then we couldn't get everyone together. But I'm happy we're doing it now. What interested me was that I think I watched was it a Dodgers versus? I can't forget. It was a Dodgers versus I think it was an Astros game. I think people were saying like the Astros robbed them or something, and I watched that game, and the Astros did rob them in my opinion. But honestly, what brought me to do this baseball podcast was that I had been looking at baseball for so long as a sport that didn't really interest me, it didn't really stand out to me. But then I looked at myself, I was like, wait, Tyson, you've never even studied the sport. If you put yourself into baseball as much as you put yourself into basketball, I think you could be a really good player. But I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna play baseball like that because that's not my sport. But let me go out and study it. So I started studying it. I started watching players. I started watching highlights of games, and I was like, wow, these players, they put a lot on the effort. They put a lot on the line for the game. And then I saw the contracts they were getting for $700 million, $800 million. I was like, okay, so y'all making money like that? Okay. But I would say what drove me to do it was just I wanted to open my eyes to new possibilities, to see other sports around me, because my podcast, I want to be able to do all sports. I want to be able to do basketball, football, baseball, soccer, cheer. I want to be able to do everything so I can get like an open perspective of other sports, and I can just put some research into it. Because I also have a lot of extra time and a lot of, how can I say, time out of school that I don't really spend productively. So I'd like something that I can do productively.
Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
What school did you come from?
High school and middle school? Well, middle school, I went to Macy.
High school.
Middle school. Okay, well, middle school, I went to Macy. Sure, I was at Sure for high school for 2 years. My freshman and sophomore year. Hey, it doesn't count because I didn't play a sport. It doesn't count. I'm not a Spartan, but
Okay.
junior year I transferred out. I went to a private school called Pacific. I balled out there. If you guys have listened to my past podcast, we were a pretty good team, but the chemistry just didn't feel right in a situation for me because that wasn't a team where I felt like it was a team where I felt like I was trying to bring everyone together and I was trying to bring that energy every night, but I was the only one. So I transferred out of there, and my options were Cantwell, Bosco, Scher, or Montebello. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to go to Bosco because I'd have to repeat my junior year. I didn't want to go to Cantwell because I didn't really know too much about their school. I didn't want to go back to Scher because I had just left. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Montebello a fresh start. And, being at Montebello has changed my life because I've never had teachers who put as much time and effort into me. I never had a teacher who gave me a recommendation to go on TV. I never had a teacher like Mr. Rodriguez, shouts out to him, who invested in me with this podcast. And he just told me that I had a gift in speaking and stuff like that. I've never had teachers like that before. So it made me really want to come to Montebello. And I'm happy. I'm happy and glad I decided to stay.
I felt the same way. As soon as I transferred, I thought all the teachers, I thought they were so nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was so happy with how they treated me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the teachers here, they really seem like they invest in your career.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Any other questions? You got one for me?
Yeah, actually. So you said how like back at your old school, it was a great team and all, but like you guys didn't have that team chemistry. I wanted to ask, like, how is the team chemistry here? Do you feel more like a brotherhood here and just more connected with your teammates?
It could depend because you guys know us guys, we all mess around, we all do some stupid stuff. But me particularly, because I am African American, and I'll put that out there, I feel sometimes a little bit more excluded from my group than I should feel. And it's not their faults. It's none of their faults. They all treat me like a brother. They all treat me like family. It's just sometimes like being the only African American kid in a friend group, it can kind of get to you. But I don't really like to let it get to me because these guys are my family. I became their photographer. I did the handshakes. I had a fun. They didn't have the best season, but I know in my heart that we could have done better. But honestly, the brotherhood, I would say it's there. And I would say their team chemistry with each other was there too. It was just lacking on certain games and certain situations. Not to take a jab at any of them because those are my family, but I would say the team chemistry here is a lot better, and that the team chemistry here, it feels like guys will really buy into things if you really can preach it out there to them,
Yeah, I get you. I can relate to that on a level too because I also transferred from a different school.
Yeah.
I came here in my junior year, same year he came. And at my old school, it was more like they kind of just played baseball just to play, just to be like, hey, I'm on the team.
They didn't play to win.
Exactly.
It's different when you play to win because when you play to win, you're competitive. You're competitive with even your teammates. You're like, you're this, you're that. I'm the best player here. It's different than when you're playing to win.
There was like no sense of urgency. There was no sense of like just like pride in what they do, and they were just kind of just doing it just to do it.
Yeah. And
I didn't like that, so that was partially the reason why I left. And I came here, and it's just a completely different story where like everybody is playing to win. Everybody's competitive. Everybody wants to win. We lose, we're upset. We win, we're happy. But the competitiveness and the whole aspect of it all is just 10 times better.
That's good. Issa, I'm going to come back to you with a few more questions, and I'll come back to the rest of you with some more. Issa, as a baseball player and as a senior graduating, what kind of advice would you give to someone who wants to get interested in the sport but doesn't know too much about it?
That's a good question because I know a lot of the guys I know that play baseball have always played baseball like their whole life. And I think that's what's different about baseball. I'm not sure about other sports because I never played other sports, but I know that a lot of people don't like baseball because obviously they don't understand it, and it's like,
I was one of them.
Yeah, and you just because I would see that too. I'll be like, hey, if I never played baseball, I'd be like,
why are they just swinging the ball? Why are they just swinging the bat?
Yeah, it's.
Like, why are they taking so long to score? Yeah,
yeah, I know. It's like, other sports you score like constantly. The plays are always changing. Everything's so different. And then you go to baseball and it's like, why is it so like long? These players take forever. They're just throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's really just getting out there and playing baseball.
Right.
And you'll start to understand like, wow, this is not as easy as you think. Oh. And it's actually requires like some sort of skill, some time and effort that you have to put into it. And once you start playing with other people, you start realizing, dang, like this could get fun. Obviously, when you're losing,
it's a little bit harder.
It gets frustrating, but that goes back to the emotional aspect, mental aspect of the game, where you have to be tough and which builds character. So
I would also say that like for a new player, that they're able to fail so much and still be one of the greats.
Right.
Because for baseball, like a stat is if you get 10 at bats and hit the ball 3 times for a base hit, you're like one of the best players on the team.
Okay, so you said say that again?
So if it's 10 at bats,
Uh-huh.
all you have to do is hit the ball fair and get a base hit 3 times. 3 times out of 10.
3 times out of 10 and you're still
like one of the greatest people.
at a 30%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like a major factor about baseball is you're gonna fail a lot more than you're ever gonna succeed. You're gonna fail and fail and fail, and that's where the mental part comes in, where you have to be like, I'm gonna fail and fail and fail, but I have to keep on trying, keep on going, because eventually something's gonna happen, and I'm gonna get a break. Yeah. And then at that point, it's where it starts becoming fun.
Okay. Well, that was an interesting answer. Issa, I'm gonna bring it back to you. Can you describe your high school experience as a baseball player to me? Just describe in one word what baseball meant to you throughout high school.
What it meant to me or how it felt like.
Okay, how it felt, and then we'll go to we'll go to another one.
Well, I think the only answer would just be fun.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll take that.
For me, it was fun.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that. Aaron, I'll turn it back to you for another question.
Okay.
As a baseball player, how would you rank your game? Like personally speaking, how would you? Do you see yourself as one of the best players? Do you see yourself as more of like a glue guy, a guy who just gets everyone together?
I see myself as a bit of both. I mean, I'm not like one of the best players ever, right? But I'm also like not that bad, you know.
Yeah,
I'm able to hold my own, but I also feel like my role on the team is to make sure that no one is feeling down about themselves, because eventually people will get mad at themselves. They're like, man, why I do this, why I do that? And I feel like that's where I come in. I tell them like, hey, you know, it's a game. We've been playing this game since we were like 8, 9. So at the end of the day, you're just gonna wipe it off. It's gonna be a new day tomorrow,
right? And
just forget it. I feel like, I feel like for me, it's my main priority to make sure that the team doesn't get too down on themselves.
Yep. Okay, that's an amazing answer. Are there any teams this season that you specifically are looking at and saying we want to beat them, but it's gonna be a tough task?
Honestly, not really. I feel like myself, I'm so confident in our team. Okay. I feel like our league, it's ours for the taking. Okay. I feel like there's no way there's no way that we're not gonna lose to league. I feel like during playoffs, that's where we need to. It's gonna stiffen up. It's gonna get harder. It's gonna stiffen up. Yeah. So I feel like we're gonna have to like hunker down and be like, okay, it's time to lock in. Make sure that all of us are prepared. We're all healthy. We're all good. And then we go in. We just going hard, and then just play our hearts out. And if we lose at the end of the day, we can say that we played our hearts out. If we win, then we get to play another day of baseball.
That's an amazing answer. This question is public. Any of you can answer this. You guys win a CIF this year or what? What's going on with that? You guys going CIF?
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Okay, we making it to state this year? Because I don't know too much about baseball and the history behind Montebello. But did you guys go to state last year?
So last year,
went to round 3.
Yeah, round 3, because I know you guys were league champs last year. Because I saw it on the thing in the gym. You guys were league champs, but how far did y'all go last year?
Round 3.
Round 3, and who was round 3 against?
Bishop
Montgomery. So that game was
it was a tough game.
The best game.
It was a tough game.
How can you explain it to me?
I think we were going into the playoffs a little shorthanded in the sense that
people were getting
towards
hurt.
the end of the year, we had a couple key guys get hurt. A couple key seniors, a couple key pitchers.
Our main pitcher
got hurt. Our main pitcher
got hurt.
And so it kind of left us short-staffed, a little shorthanded in the game. And we did try our best to compete, but at the end of the day, I just think everybody just kind of didn't have the greatest day, and they came up on top.
Also, the umpires.
Oh, what's that about? What's all that about?
Umpires play a big aspect.
Umpires play a big aspect in the game. They control like what's a ball, what's a strike. And that game, I mean, it wasn't biased, but they were giving us some calls that were really questionable in times where it really mattered. Some pitches that were balls.
So honestly, just like some bad refs.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
A good, really
basketball, football. That's all over the place. Honestly.
Yeah.
Nate, I asked Aaron this question, but I'm going to ask it to you.
Okay.
Describe your game days and things you do to lock in specifically.
Things that I do for myself to lock in. starts probably from the night before the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think, okay, gotta make sure I have all my stuff together. Make sure I have all my stuff ready for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have everything physically ready, I get mentally ready for the game.
Right.
Right. So at school, I make sure I get all my work done, get everything out of the way, so
Right.
I'm not stressing about anything else during the game.
Perfect.
And as soon as we walk out those gates and head to the clubhouse to change, I like to just lock in and think about what I'm going to do at the game and how I'm going to succeed. Not how I'm going to fail, not what happened bad last time, not
How you're
what
gonna
happened the day
impact it.
before. How today is going to be different, how today I'm going to make an impact on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in the clubhouse. How Aaron mentioned, we play music, we get a little pumped up, we get a little amped up before the game. And then as soon as we're on that bus, maybe like the last 20 minutes of the ride, depending on how far the school is that we're going to, silence.
No one
Everybody-
talks.
Silence. Everybody's locked in. Everybody's in their own thoughts.
That's actually like, I'm not gonna lie. I would have to say, because during bus rides on basketball, because I didn't play in the game, but I was on the bus, and our coach would tell this to us, and I never understood it, and I never really believed it, because I've seen other schools when they get on the bus and they're kind of talkative, you can kind of tell if they're gonna have an offer, and you can tell if they're gonna have a good or bad game.
Right.
But when they're like completely silent, that's how you know we're coming to win, nothing else. That's what we're coming to do. Like I would have to say, you guys being silent on the bus for that last 15, 20 minutes, like joking around the first 10, 15 minutes bus ride. All right, whatever. But that last 15 to 20 minutes, just locked in silence. Everyone has their AirPods in. Everyone's listening in. Everyone's thinking, how can I make an impact to the game? That's an important and a crucial thing to do, especially in a sport that requires patience, requires discipline, requires guys buying in and making sure they're focused and up to the task. I would say that's a really good answer you gave me. Issa, my main man, these questions are going to get impossible for me, but I'm going to come with 2 more questions for each of you, and then to end the episode, we will just wrap it up there. All right, cool. Issa, any big college plans? Anywhere you're going to play? Anywhere you're going to commit to?
Andy.
This is a tough question because I'm not sure if what I want to do when I'm older is going to be having to do with baseball.
Okay. Is there anything in your future that you want that's not baseball? Any career that you want?
Well, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I wanted to go study business. I don't know. Well, ever since I took this class with Shaw, and obviously everybody here.
Everyone knows Mr. Shaw.
Yeah,
Mr. Shaw's
knows.
shouts out to Mr. Shaw.
Yes,
Mr. Shaw's
sir.
the best.
My dad actually went to school. That's crazy. My dad went to school with Shaw, and I was like, because I asked him, when did you graduate? And then he told me. I was like, oh, well, let me ask my dad. And my dad was like, oh yeah, I remember.
He was in my graduating class.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I was like, Dad, like you went to school with my teacher. Are you serious right now? Like,
That's cool. That's cool.
but yeah, I would want to play baseball in college, and because I have obviously we all have former teammates, and I have, for me specifically, I have older friends that are already in college. They've been there for a few years already, and their college life, I mean, baseball seems to be such a big part of their life, which has always been a big part of my life too, and I want to continue that. But I don't think I've put myself out there enough, and did the right things necessarily to be able to at least like get a scholarship or something. I mean, I'm confident enough that I'll be able to walk onto like a JUCO or something, and be able to play there. But scholarship wise, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that.
And that's another question I would want to ask you. Would you want to go? This is just a personal question for you. Would you want to go to a JUCO a few years and then transfer, or would you want to just go to a 4-year straight there as a rookie, or would you want to take that JUCO year, get the experience playing with other college guys, and then transfer up, or do you want to go in? Nah, I'm good, and go straight as a rookie right into a 4-year university?
Yeah,
continue.
Many of the schools have already prepared their players. Like private schools, they train for like 6 hours a day. And they mentally have like people to talk to them, telling them how are they going to be treated, their coaches. Tell them, hey, like this is going to be what you're going to be doing like in college, right? And us, I don't think we were like super prepared, like any of us, because we have always been kind of like the underdogs. Like obviously we're Montebello. Nobody really like talks about Montebello.
No, not like that.
Yeah, not like that. So I don't think JUCO would be a bad idea
Mm-hmm.
to get the experience there. And once you start feeling like, hey, like this is something I want to get like big on, you know, then I think transferring to another school would be a good option.
Okay. Aaron, last 2 questions for you, my man.
All right.
What are your college plans for the future, man? What do you plan on doing?
So currently, I'm talking to SFSU, San Francisco State University.
Hold up. You got to give that an applause because that's a big time school, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they saw me during my summer ball years, my last year.
Yeah.
And they really liked what I had to offer them. And yeah, so then for a while, as of right now, we've been talking back and forth about housing situations, about school plans, about how I'm gonna fit into the team dynamic. Because honestly, I feel it's all good and well that if I commit there, good, but I don't want to commit and then not play.
Right.
Because I feel me not playing is gonna harm me more than
exactly. You don't want to commit to a school and then you're on the bench most of your career. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So as of right now, SFSU.
Are you considering going to the MLB professionally, or do you want to take up something other in college, like an entrepreneur or something else?
I honestly want to take baseball as far as I am able to take it, because I come from a big baseball family, so like it's kind of like not a burden, but like it's heavy on my shoulders that I have to make it as far as
you take it like a responsibility.
Yeah, a responsibility.
I'll take that. Nate, what are your futures for baseball, man? How far are you taking it?
I'm gonna take it as far as I can, like Aaron too. For college, as far as college goes, this past year has been pretty rough, and I broke my elbow, and so I'm not really getting looked at by anybody. And so, like, nobody wants to pick up some kid with a broken elbow. They don't know if he's gonna be able to play the way he used to play. They're not gonna. They don't know what my future holds, right? But I'm confident in my ability enough to go walk on at any JUCO, play there, do good there, and then get recruited by hopefully a 4-year, and then see where that takes me. Kind of like our ex-teammate, a former senior that was here last year. I'd like to mention, shout him out, Adrian Roman. He's currently at PCC, Pasadena City College. He had a great year last year, his senior year, and now he's even doing even better, probably playing the best ball he's ever played in his life with a 21-game hit streak. He's just doing great. Wow. Yeah, so he's getting looked at by places all over. They're recording stats all over him, from all over, and I hope to do what he's doing, and just he's probably gonna move up and probably gonna get recruited. Right. Hopefully, for the best. Knock on wood. But yeah, so I hope to do something like that, and kind of just I know I'm good enough to walk on at a JUCO and play there, and then I just have to show everybody else why they should want me on their team.
Well, before I go on, my last question, I want to give you a special shout out, because it's not every day that a kid can break their elbow in whatever kind of league you do and come back with that mentality, with that I'm confident enough to say I can do this. It doesn't matter what part of me you break. I'm going to be the best player. So I'm going to give you that shout out, because that's special, because not a lot of players have that. A lot of players go through injuries in high school where they see it as, oh, this injury broke me because this happened and this injury happened, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to quit my dream in baseball. But you have the mentality, okay, I got hurt. I'm going to make the progress. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to put in the sweat, time, and effort, and I'm going to get back to who I was, and I'm going to get back to that kind of star player that I want to be. So I'll give you a lot of shout out, and I give you a lot of credit for that.
Appreciate you.
Last question for you. Like I asked them, are there any other plans beside baseball that you would want to take up other than the MLB professionally?
Right. So, I took a kinesiology class my junior year.
What's that?
Not here, but at my old school. Kinesiology is the study of the movement of the body.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's what a lot of physical therapists, rehabilitation therapists do. So I think that's probably what I want to major in when I go to college, kinesiology. And assuming that I take baseball as far as I can, and if I don't play out the dream of going pro or just taking it far, my business career, job career, probably be kinesiology, probably be an ATC, athletic trainer certified. They're the people that do like rehabilitation therapy for like professional athletes, because I would still want to stay in that community of baseball, or even other sports. I don't mind. like the idea of being in with other sports, you know, like football, basketball, baseball. It doesn't matter. Like I'd be down to be like a rehabilitation therapist for like professional athletes to get hurt and help them get back to where they were and help them even be better than they were before.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this episode of Tyson Talk. It has been an honor to have you guys on here.
Thank you.
This has been Tyson, and here we're here with
Peace.
Aaron.
Nate.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.